Hey guys, I'm your host Mark, and welcome back to the Pausing Porn Podcast, the podcast that is here to support you in your healing journey from compulsive porn use. As someone who's been through the recovery journey themselves, this podcast was created to give you the knowledge, tools, and support needed to help you make the progress that you're looking for. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast today, and let's get started. Happy New Year's, guys. We made it to 2026. I hope you guys all had a nice holidays, the Christmas season, the New Year's as well with your friends and family. Unfortunately, I did get sick for New Year's, so I spent it inside, but it was still a nice one. The good thing is, I think the rest caught up to me. I'm feeling much better now than I was before. I honestly felt like I had COVID when I had COVID like years ago. It was not too enjoyable, but I'm feeling a lot better now, so that's great. Today, I have a shorter episode for you guys. It's still a very important one. It's one of those episodes that could just give you a mindset shift, especially if you're feeling that you're really stuck in your recovery and you're trying different things, but you're not making too much progress. So, guys, let's get started on it. Have you guys ever looked up what the definition of an addiction is? Until last week, I have never done that. And probably much like yourself, like I could give a pretty good definition, which would be from my own opinion, but I never went ahead and looked up what the actual definition was. So that is what I did last week. I looked in the Merriam-Webster dictionary and I noted down what they defined it as. They defined an addiction as a compulsive, chronic physiological or psychological need for a habit-forming substance, behavior, or activity having harmful physical, psychological, or social effects and typically causing well-defined symptoms upon withdrawal or abstinence. That is a lot. It is a lot to digest, and it's not something that's easy to memorize. I do think, though, I think it's a great definition because they had to cover all of their bases, of course, but I do still like another definition I've heard better. So I don't know if you guys heard of Andrew Huberman. If you have, great. If not, I would check him out. He's got a great podcast and he does cover a lot of different subjects. But I heard his definition, I think a few years ago, and it stuck with me. So, Andrew Huberman defines addiction as a progressive narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure. That's it. It's very simple. And of course, it's pretty broad as well. But I think it captures the main point very well. And it's super easy to digest. And this definition, it's so easy to see play out in your life. Like when I think to just a few years before my porn addiction was at its worst, even at that time, I had a very deep social life. I'd keep up with numerous friends on a daily basis. But then I noticed as porn crept deeper into my life, I would subtly push these friends away. And for no other reason, just the fact that porn was becoming the main thing that brought me pleasure. It's something you don't even recognize at the time, of course, because it happened so slowly. I remember at that time, when my porn addiction was at its peak, it just felt like I had no friends overnight, especially in that part where you feel like you really need your friends, but you've already pushed them all away. For those years, instead of investing in friendships and, you know, relationships that brought me actual fulfillment, instead I just put that towards porn. It was for cheap and easy dopamine. Porn is what became my main source of pleasure. So if addiction is the progressive narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure, then what is the opposite of addiction? Well, I was listening to Alex Hormozy's podcast the other week, and he said the opposite of addiction is fulfillment. When he said that, it actually really sat with me, and I could not agree more. You could describe fulfillment as the progressive expansion of the things that bring you joy. Addiction is what shrinks your life until all you have is that one thing, but fulfillment brings depth to your life in each and every area. I wanted to share the opposite of addiction, fulfillment, with you guys today as a reminder. Because recovery from porn addiction, it's not just about quitting porn. It's about gaining a life free from it. If you're someone who's dug a deep hole into a lifestyle of compulsive porn use and you're struggling to see a way out, like maybe you've lost friendships along the way, your old hobbies that used to really excite you just don't give you any interest anymore, and spending time with family just feels like a chore now more than anything else. If you're someone that the only thing that really excites you anymore is when you make space to be alone and watch porn, then you can't expect your only solution is to remove porn from your life. The real solution is building a fulfilling life that doesn't need porn as a crutch anymore in the first place. So this is your sign, guys. Maybe a reason why you've been struggling to find success in your recovery so far is because all you've been doing is trying not to watch porn. Like all you're doing is trying not to do one thing. But that's not what recovery is about. Recovery is expanding your life. Think of how small porn makes your life, right? Actually, think about it. Porn just makes your life much smaller. But what recovery is about expanding your life. That's why I say gaining a life free from porn, because it's not about quitting porn. It's not about taking your life the same way and just removing porn out of the equation. No, it's about expanding every area in your life. Your friendships, romantic relationships, family relationships, mental health, physical health, hobbies, your entertainment, your career, finances, and spirituality. It's about expanding these areas and finding fulfillment in each and every single one. I want you to really ask yourself what a fulfilling life looks like for you. Because what a fulfilling life looks like for me is going to be different than you. It's going to be different than the next person, the next person. We're all different, and that's an amazing thing. This question isn't one that you should answer in 15 seconds and move on. Like, this is a deep question, and I want you to really think about it. Over the course of weeks, even months, ask yourself what a fulfilling life looks like for you and how you can start building it today. I didn't recover from my porn addiction from simply not watching porn anymore. I recovered from porn addiction by building a fulfilling life that didn't rely on porn, period. That is all for this short podcast episode today. My next episode is going to be more in depth and also a seasonal one since the new year just passed. It will be on your 2026 playbook for gaining a life free from porn. If you enjoyed this episode or it helped you out, please leave a review on the podcast or share it with someone that needs to hear it. I also ask for you to follow the podcast on your platform so you don't miss any new episodes that are released. Thank you for tuning into the podcast today, and I'll catch you in the next one.